Welcome back, guys. So in this video we're going to start importing and working on our textures for the floor panel. So let's go to new document and let's go to select. Let's find our low poly, open that up, everything checks out. Let's hit OK. Now what I want to do is go to texture set settings, bake mesh maps, change this to 4K, locate my high poly, so floor panel high, change the distance to somewhere around here, scroll down, anti-aliasing will be 8x8, we'll leave it on always, and let's start baking. Alright guys, we are done and these bakes came out flawless as usual. And let's just rotate around so I can explain why I did extrude these planes, because as you can see, I didn't want this to be just a piece of paper flat. I wanted to give the illusion that, you know, there's some depth to this, so I extruded this outwards. Now let's change this from 1K to, I can do 2 or 4K, it doesn't really matter. And let's start adding some textures. Alright guys, so first things first, I want to go to my smart materials and locate this fabric sci-fi material so I can drag and drop this. And I'll open up the folder drop down and I want to change the color, which is this first icon here, and I'll go down to the base color and I'll change it to like a more of an orange color. So somewhere around here looks fine. And I'll also go down to the material folder base color and I'll change this to make this black like we've been doing previously. Now I want to go to the pattern and upscale this because it's too tiny, so I'll go to the mask layer, go to hex, which is a pattern, and I'll just go up and I'll downscale this, so maybe a little smaller than this. So somewhere around here should be fine. Now I'll go down to where it says grayscale and I'll just scale this to be a little darker, so around here. And I'll take the blur and take that off. Cool. So now I'll close this folder, select it, right click, and add a black mask. And depending on I was kind of indecisive over which way I want to go with this. I don't know if I want to make these 3 panels in the middle have this little pattern displayed on it, or if I want to have these 2 have it. It's really up to you, whatever one you prefer. I think I'll make this have that color. So what I'll do is just start to draw in here, and I will give it a little bit of space in between the borders because it's something I want to do for that once I add another material here in a bit. That looks fine for now. Now I want to work on the base color, and let's change this name to pattern. And what I want to do for this is grab that material we used prior, this glass film dirty material or mirror. I don't know the name, but what is it? Glass film dirty mirror. Yeah, that's a really long name. So let's hit the drop down folder. Let's go down to glass. Now we have the option to up the roughness because that's way too reflective. So something around here is fine. So we'll close this out. And let's drag this underneath the pattern, so somewhere around here. And this looks fine so far, but now what I want to do is add a material to the panels. And what I want to do is add this white material here, you see. So maybe this plastic dirty, that might be a good look. So once I select that, I can right click, go to black mask, and I'll just paint this area in. Now I can switch to the eraser tool and clean this up. I'll just go across with this. Go back up. Do the same for this area. I can do a little bit better. Just tighten up here. That looks good. And I think this is actually good to go. I can add another layer and you know, add some more breakup. And actually I will do that. So I'll add another layer, another paint layer. I'll go to materials, grab that aluminum. And if I go to base color, I can make this a little bit more teal, as well as bring down the opacity to something closer to 14. Go to the brushes, grab that artistic heavy sponge brush. Now we will lower the opacity of this brush to around 18. Let's take the flow to about 13, 12, or 10. Doesn't really matter. Maybe that's too low. Let's up the opacity a bit. Yeah, that looks good. You want this to be nice and subtle, nothing too much. And the more times you go over it, the lighter it'll be for the passes, so I can keep going and it'll get lighter and lighter. We just want a subtle break up, nothing too much. That looks good. I could do an orange streak going across. I don't know if that'd be too much. Maybe. We'll just try it out. Let's add another layer, or let's go to materials or smart materials. Let's choose our plastic gloss stain material. We'll just drag and drop this. Go inside the folder and turn off the stain and dust layer. Right click, add a black mask to the layer. And let's just do a nice pass going across. And we have to get out of the eraser tool first. So let's go to this layer. Now this could be good. Maybe that's a good. Yeah, it could be something good. So I'll do one more at the bottom and we'll make this one really small. Yeah, so this looks great. This looks nice and detailed, and I think we're done. So let's go to File, Export Textures, find our location, go to Low Poly, create a new folder, and this is Floor Panel _ textures. Select that folder. Now for the output template, we're going to choose our Unreal Engine 4 Packed. And we'll choose, I'm going to choose 4K textures. And I'll export this. And while that's safely exporting, I will open up another folder and drag my low poly into the textures folder. Grab my low poly floor. Drag into the floor panel textures, get rid of the MTL file, and yeah, we're done.